हाय नेहा।
हाय।
जय श्री कृष्णा। जय महेश।
जय महेश।
हाँ नेहा। जय महेश।
जय महेश जितेंद्र जी। जय
कैसी
महेश।
हैं आप?
एकदम अच्छी हूँ, आप कैसे हो?
एकदम मजे में। देखो आप माउंट कैलाश पे ही बैठी हो, पीछे दिख रहा है सब।
बिल्कुल।
वही हम दोनों प्रैक्टिस करे तो वो बोली मैं इसी में रहती हूँ। मैं बोली ठीक है, महेश वंदना कर रही है तो इसी में रहना।
मैंने नेहा को बोला है कि इतनी इतनी उन्मुक्तता से वंदना करनी है कि भगवान महेश पूरे परिवार के साथ आके हमारे बायलॉज सेमिनार को ब्लेस करें।
बिल्कुल। कोशिश वही है।
बिल्कुल। तो वी विल स्टार्ट एट अराउंड 9:01 नेहा, एंड 9:02 आई विल कॉल यू। सिर्फ शुरू में एक बार थोड़े से अटेंड ही हो जाए। राम राम, जय महेश। आज महेश नवमी के पावन पर्व पर आप सभी यहाँ पे एकत्रित हुए। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत अभिवादन। और महेश नवमी की इस संध्या पे जो माहेश्वरी समाज का उत्पत्ति दिवस है, आज सभी से मिलके हम सभी को बहुत आनंद हो रहा है। आज भगवान महेश की वंदना और उनकी स्तुति का विशेष दिवस है। तो आज की संध्या की हम शुरुआत नेहा राठी की एक महेश वंदना से करेंगे। नेहा, कृपया भगवान महेश का आह्वान करें।
जय महेश। किस विधि वंदन करु तिहारो, ओढ़र दानी त्रिपुरारी, बलिहारी बलिहारी, जय महेश बलिहारी। किस विधि वंदन करु तिहारो, ओढ़र दानी त्रिपुरारी, बलिहारी बलिहारी, जय महेश बलिहारी। नयन तीन उपवीत भुजंगा, शशि ललाट सोहे सिर गंगा, मुंड माल गल बीच विराजत, महिमा है अति भारी, बलिहारी बलिहारी, जय महेश बलिहारी। कर में डमरू त्रिशूल तिहारे, कटी में हर वो घंबर डारे, उमा सहित हिम शैल विराजत, शोभा है अति न्यारी, बलिहारी बलिहारी, जय महेश बलिहारी। किस विधि वंदन करु तिहारो, ओढ़र दानी त्रिपुरारी, बलिहारी बलिहारी, जय महेश बलिहारी, जय महेश बलिहारी, जय महेश बलिहारी। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद नेहा, इतनी बढ़िया और इतनी मधुर महेश वंदना के लिए। हम सबको बिल्कुल ऐसा फीलिंग हो रहा है जैसे बिल्कुल जैसे आपके पीछे कैलाश पर्वत का दृश्य है और हम सब भगवान शिव और पार्वती जी के चरणों में बैठे हैं और वो हमें यहाँ पे आज आशीर्वाद देने आए। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। धन्यवाद। Welcome everybody once again to this special evening that we have planned on a very special day of MMNA. As you are aware, today is Mahesh Navami, and which is called as Vanshotpatti Divas of Maheshwari Samaj, and it is said that this is 5158th Vanshotpatti Divas of Maheshwari Samaj. So we are proud that we are talking today evening for a document or a structure which also relates to the Vanshotpatti of MMNA. So we are talking about the bylaws of MMNA. Sunilji, can you take the slide, please? So basically, to set the context, so today we are gathered to talk about that what are the, back please, talk about what are proposed amendments to the bylaws of Maheshwari Mahasabha of North America. First, let me take a minute to explain what exactly are bylaws for people who may not be aware. As we know, Maheshwari Samaj is, we are here in North America. We live like a family. Our feelings are like a family. but we are organized under the laws of this land under a 5013C corporation, which gives us a tax exempt status. Whenever a corporation is there, there is a document which is like a constitution of the document, which are called the bylaws. Maheshwari, MMNA was born in 1983 when the articles were written and the first bylaws were written. The second next slide, please. The second extensive exercise of revamping the bylaws of MMNA took place in 2013. And that's when a comprehensive team was formed that wrote the new bylaws which regulated MMNA. Now the question will come in your mind that what is the need of this bylaws or reviewing this bylaws? So just look at your mind that where MMNA was in 2013 and where it is today. Many of you have been members since then and even before. In terms of our chapters, in terms of our initiatives, in terms of our activities, we probably had 2 bank accounts in 2013. We probably have now 12 bank accounts. We had 4 or 5 initiatives that were written in our initiatives in 2013. We now have more than 10 initiatives and more could be coming. Our number of chapters have grown. Our activities have grown manifold. There was no Zoom in 2013. Now we cannot imagine an MMNA without a Zoom. So many changes have come in. So it was a time that we wanted to review that what is it that we can look at our founding document and are there any changes which can prepare us better for the future. Here it is very important for us to recognize and acknowledge our founding fathers, both of 1983 and the extensive work that the people did in 2013, so that that document is holding steady for this organization for last 12 years, even while our size, our activities have grown manifold. But it was now high time to take a relook at that. Now the other question will come that, okay, we need to change the bylaws or there is this bylaws amendment, but what is the value that is created for a MMNA member family? What's in it for you or what's in it for me as a life member? Well, there have been many questions that have been raised. Last time when we had the LEC elections, we found that the spouses did not have the voting rights. Now chapters are increasing. If you recall, 10 years ago, the chapter teams used to be maximum 4 people, and then also used to be difficult to find the people to run those chapters. Now we are proud to say that some of our chapter teams are anywhere between 18 to 20 people and more people interested to join. Our sizes of families are increasing. Many of our dependent parents are living with us who were earlier not here. How to accommodate all those needs and many more of the organization, and with a single objective, what is good for the future of MMNA. So next slide, please. So when this team was formulated by the board in January, this is a 7 people team that was designated by the board. And I will just, there are 4 BOT members. So which is Poonam Bhutra, Sachin Sobani, and Sunil Soni. There are 2 NEC members, Aditya Daga and Swapnil Ladda, and 1 past chapter president, Chandreji Maheshwari. So this was the team constituted by the board in the month of January, and with a single objective, which is bylaws review of MMNA, by MMNA, for MMNA. And today, I want to use the very simple Hindi word to describe this entire thing. Tera tujhko arpan kya lage mera. So all that we did for the last 5 months was gathering your thoughts, your ideas, your vision, trying to put our understanding to it. And today, or few days back, we now present this document in the feet of Lord Mahesh and all of you to look at it and how we can take this forward. Next slide, please. So when we started in the month of January, it is very ironic and interesting कि हमने उस वक्त जनवरी में हमारे दिल में ख्वाब था कि इस पूरी एक्सरसाइज, इस जर्नी में कुछ एक अच्छा काम हम महेश नवमी के दिन करें, और ये हमने सपना अपनी पहली मीटिंग 5 फरवरी में लिया था। आज 18 वेडनेसडे के बाद हमें बड़ी खुशी है कि हम अपना ये प्रपोज्ड अमेंडमेंट टू बायलॉज पूरी कम्युनिटी के साथ में आज महेश नवमी के दिन ही समर्पित कर रहे हैं। Now, let me just give a brief overview of what happened from January till now. Today is actually our 18th continuous Wednesday meeting. हमने 5 फरवरी से मिलना शुरू किया था और एक भी ऐसा वेडनेसडे नहीं रहा जब हम सातों लोगों ने रात को 2-2.5 घंटे मीटिंग नहीं की। हमने सबसे पहले किया कि जो करंट बायलॉज है उसको पढ़ते हैं। So we went over it, depth by depth, line by line, to understand that, okay, what is it, does it represent? Then we started asking ourselves a question based on our knowledge of MMNA or past experiences. What are the main problem areas, or what are areas that we can strengthen so that MMNA becomes more empowered for the future? Again, going back to the line, what is good for the future of MMNA? फिर हमने कहा कि सिर्फ अंदर देखने के बजाय बाहर भी देखना चाहिए. So now that technology is there, we got access to bylaws of around 12 Indo-American associations which are similar to MMNA. For example, Bengali Association, Jaina Association, Kannada Association, Maharashtra Mandal. और हमने उनके bylaws को कंपेयर किया MMNA के बेंचमार्किंग के साथ में, and we used a lot of chat GPT for doing that. That okay, how are the other doing their fee structure, उनकी नेशनल काउंसिल कैसी होती है. यहां पे मैं एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करना चाहता हूं, जो हम लोगों के लिए, सभी के लिए एक बहुत प्राइड का विषय है. सबसे पहला ये कि हमने जितने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्टडी किए वो मोस्टली रीजनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस का नेशनल फेडरेशन है. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, देयर मे बी एन XYZ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन न्यू जर्सी, ABC organization in California, and then they all combined under a national brand or national umbrella. According to our information, MMNA was the only organization with pan-America presence with a single tax ID having the structure that we are operating in. It was a matter of great pride to learn that, and in our entire exercise we have tried to make sure कि हम ये स्ट्रक्चर को बरकरार रखें, the one MMNA. और दूसरी चीज जिसको सुन के हमारी जो सखियां हैं उनको बहुत खुशी होगी, हमने जितने बायलॉज और जितने एसोसिएशन को स्टडी किया, किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में वुमेन का उतना प्रोमिनेंट रोल नहीं है जितना MMNA में है. Women were there in very limited roles, in very limited capacities, but the way in MMNA, women have been from chairman to presidents to chapter presidents to initiative leads to conveners and what all, we did not find anywhere. So these were two matters that we learned as a matter of pride. जब हमने बायलॉज स्टडी किए उसके बाद में व्हाट वी थॉट, लास्ट ईयर इन बायलॉज के ऊपर काम सुशील जी बिरला जो कि BOT मेंबर थे उन्होंने करना शुरू किया था, बट किसी कारणों से वो उसको आगे नहीं ले जा पाए थे. एंड इट वाज आवर फाउंडिंग फ्रॉम वेयर वी स्टार्टेड, एंड वी आर एक्सट्रीमली थैंकफुल टू सुशील जी फॉर द वर्क ही डिड. देन केम द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट, जब हमने सारा ये खुद का मंथन किया कि ओके, हम सिर्फ 7 लोग या कुछ लोगों के निर्णय से या विचारों से MMNA का क्या सही है ये तय नहीं हो सकता. तो हम लोगों ने करीब 50 सब्जेक्ट मैटर एक्सपर्ट्स की लिस्ट बनाई, which were all the current BOT, current NEC, all the past national presidents, past national BOT chairpersons, all the conveners, past chapter presidents, and many other such stakeholders. In fact, मैंने पर्सनली पिछली बायलॉज टीम के कम से कम 6 मेंबर से बात की कि आपने बायलॉज की एक्सरसाइज कैसे करी थी. ये एक्सटेंसिव एक्सरसाइज हमने अप्रैल और मई के अंदर करी, जब हम में से 7 में से हर किसी ने किसी ना एक SME के साथ 1 से 1.5 घंटा डिस्कस किया कि हमने ये समझा है, आपके क्या ओपिनियन है. एंड दैट प्रूव्ड फॉर अस टू बी सच एन आई ओपनिंग because we got such an overwhelming response, and also validations to some of our points, and also total rejection of some of the ideas that we were running with, because this was coming from people who have been stakeholders in MMNA for last 20 years. और हमने सिर्फ पीछे नहीं देखा, हमने आगे आने वाली जनरेशन के जो रेस के लीडर्स हैं उनसे भी बात की, बिकॉज MMNA का भविष्य वही है. इसके अलावा हमने 2-3 बार MMNA के लाइफ मेंबर से जो सजेशन मंगवाए वो हमें मिले, उनको हमने इंक्लूड किया. And then in America there is something called as parliamentarian, so who are people who guide you on NGO laws. So we connected with a parliamentarian and MMNA attorney. ये सब का पूरा निचोड़ करने के बाद, इस पूरी एक्सरसाइज के बाद हम उस मुकाम पर पहुंचे जिसको कि हम proposed amendments to bylaws कहते हैं. Now the presentation today, we are not showing you the document in the beginning. We are going to be running all the salient points that we think are going to impact each and every one of us, and why we are proposing those changes. Our bylaws team will run through each of those slides, and then of course in the end we are going to have question answer open for each and everybody. हम लोग आप जब तक जितने सवाल पूछना चाहेंगे हम यहीं बैठे हैं, बिकॉज हम चाहते हैं कि ये जो एक्सरसाइज हुई है आपके मन में जितने भी सवाल हों बायलॉज के बारे में और एनीथिंग एल्स, प्लीज फील फ्री. यू कैन रेज योर हैंड इन द अटेंडी बार, तो यू विल गेट एन आइडिया. और Q&A का सेशन भी रहेगा. मेरा सिर्फ एक ही सजेशन है कि जितनी देर ये प्रेजेंटेशन चल रहा है, इफ यू कैन होल्ड ऑन टू योर क्वेश्चंस एंड देन वी विल हैव द फ्लोर ओपन फॉर एवरीबॉडी. Once again, thank you for joining. Next slide, please. Chandresh ji, just unmute yourself. Chandresh ji, unmute yourself.
Thanks. नमस्कार सभी अटेंडीज को. महेश नवमी की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं. मैं चंद्रेश माहेश्वरी टोरंटो कनाडा से बोल रहा हूँ. मैं टोरंटो कनाडा में पास्ट प्रेसिडेंट रह चुका हूँ. यही मेरी पहचान है मैं माहेश्वरी समाज में अपने. मैं आपको जिस अच्छा ये MMNA meetings now will be or can be held in physical or hybrid or virtual manner, which was earlier the meeting, the bylaws said that it can be only held personally when everybody meets personally. So we have made a slight change that, I mean, we have been doing this for a while rather, that we are meeting in different manners, which make it convenient for everybody to attend. Similarly, communication could be physical as well as digital, and voting, which used to be a paper ballot system kind of a thing, and record sharing will now be all digital as well as physical. Could we meet, next slide, please? किसी भी संस्था के सबसे important स्तंभ होते हैं उसके members. So today I'm going to talk about the members and some of the rights that they enjoy. It is covered under Article 4 of the bylaws, and there are different sections within that article, and I'll go one by one. So basically, there are 3 types of membership today in our bylaws. One is called life membership, one is called student membership, and the third is called honorary membership. Now, we are expanding the life members term to include the dependent parents, only dependent parents of the life members living in North America, as well as their children, adult children, up to the age of 30 years. So the life member will be an individual or a married couple, but the privileges of life membership will be extended to the dependent parents and the children of those life members. The right to be elected as an officer or appointed to an office of MMNA will be restricted only to the life members, not to the family life of the life members. We are suggesting to remove the second type of membership called student members and rather include it in a general members, which will be the third type, or rather the second type, which will include all members who are not life members, but they still participate in all functions and whatever MMNA does. So it will include families of the life members, individuals, students, people who come to North America for temporary assignments and work permits, and they want to be included in all the functions. That is the general membership. Now, the Article 4 and Section 3 defines the membership fee. But we found that membership fee has perhaps not been reviewed for almost 20 years, because I have been a member myself for 12 years and I have not seen it being reviewed. But I think it has not been reviewed for 20 years, and that has been a very, very long time. And nobody has taken the step to actually review it and revise if necessary. So we are suggesting that at the start of every NEC term, the BOT or the NEC actually review it and then take a decision whether it has to be revised or not, looking at the present circumstances. the costs have gone up. So most probably the very first time they review, it will go up, but it is being suggested that they should definitely review it. Next point about members is that we had actually the organization had gone in to supply physical membership cards to everybody. But in today's world where technology has really gone up, we think carrying a physical card is very difficult and cumbersome. So we are now getting into producing a unique digital ID, which will enable us to be able to identify each member separately. And whenever they want to participate in any function, or when they want to, let's say, stand for an election or something of that sort, we will be able to identify immediately who that person is and what has been his standing and experience in the organization. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Chandreshi. Jai Shri Krishna and Jai Mahesh. I am Sunil Soni, BOT member and member of Bylaws Review Committee. In continuation of our membership, proposed membership talk, let's review proposed voting rights. Very first is separate voting rights for spouses. This is very exciting, and I'm sure this is gonna give big smile to our spouses. This is based on the great demand, as well as last year when we had NEC election at the time, this came as a biggest desire, and based on that, what we are proposing, that instead of one voting right per family, because as you know, currently only primary member is eligible to vote. But what we are proposing, that instead of one voting right per family, both the spouses to be eligible for voting rights. Now, which will give 2 maximum votes per family. Now, let's talk about some life events which are new to bylaws. One is separation. Now, as you know, we don't want family to separate, but situation changes. And if such situation comes, then in that case, what we are proposing, that both the spouses will continue to be life members, and each one will having a single voting rights. Means again, if they get married second time, but they will continue to have only single voting right. Another life event is in case of a partner is deceased, in that case, the other spouse will continue to be the life member. Adult child voting rights. Now, this input has come during our discussion. And what we are proposing, that if any adult child from a life member family wants to vote, then they can take independent life membership by paying the life membership fee. And they will become like, the regular life member, and they will have all the rights, including the voting rights. The fourth one is cooling period. What we are proposing here is voting rights to confer after 90 days of life membership. Actually, this will help us properly tally as well as, update our records in our MMNA books. With this, I conclude voting rights, proposed voting rights review, and pass on to Aditya Daga.
जय श्री कृष्णा, जय महेश। आप सगला ने महेश नवमी दी बहुत बहुत बधाइयां। मारो नाम आदित्य विक्रम डागा। आई एम पार्ट ऑफ करंट NEC टीम। MMNA, जैसे मुच्छाल जी ने बोला, has grown and evolved across multiple aspects, right, in the several years, in the past several years, and especially significantly higher engagement and interest across our parivar. और वो it's not only just limited to getting involved, but also committing towards taking that official responsibility across various available roles. So higher engagement मतलब है lot more people available to take the roles, but at the same time still things like किसी role के बारे में सोचते हो तो उसकी term and a term of 4 to 6 years अभी भी लगता है जैसे कि this kind of a संकोच है लोगों के मन में. There seems to be some hitch, and that's all driven by कि will it allow them to have that continued commitment, that renewed excitement, that creativity, freshness, or even the risk of burnout or complacency in those longer terms of 4 to 6 years. So with that all evolving background, for the BOT and the NEC, which is, I'll cover, which is defined in Article 5 in Section 1 and 2. What is the first proposal is to change the length of the BOT term. Currently, it's 6 years with 1/3 of the member retiring every 2 years. So change from 6 to a shorter term of 4 years, and with 50% of the BOT members retiring every 2 years, which allows for a bigger and a bigger opportunity, more frequent opportunity for everybody to be able to serve the community in official capacity. But also at the same time, this is also true, right? Community service can be done in variety of ways, and it's not limited by having formal leadership roles or positions, right? So few other proposals that have come up. Let's say I, as an NEC member today, at the end of my term, would like to continue serving and want to move to BOT, apply to a BOT position. Proposal is for me to take a position holder in NEC, to take a year's gap after serving NEC before raising my hand for a BOT position, and vice versa, right? Now, having served one term, I still feel I'm energetic. I can go in for the second term. Absolutely, go for it. But the proposal is to maximize that number of terms which I can serve in an official role in BOT. Again, community service does not stop only by having formal leadership, right? Also, as they say, charity begins at home. And to avoid very maybe specific, but avoid difficult situation, it is proposed that both spouses, me and Shruti, do not take simultaneously these leadership positions, which is either as a chapter president or a BOT member or an NEC member. So either of these three positions, spouses should not take up simultaneously is a proposal. Moving on to our executive body, which is the National Executive Committee, similar to the BOT, suggesting the term to be changed from 4 years to 3 years. I'm sure aap sab ne dekha, RCB won their first IPL title. So it's kind of moving from that, Test cricket format to more of the T20 format, 4 to smaller terms. You come and perform at a very high pace and allow the next set of people to do a similar. It's more exciting. Also, as you've seen, Manchal ji ne bola kafi baar, the increase in the absolute numbers, be it members or be it the chapters, the NEC team size is also proposed to be expanded to 12 people, which allows for a possibility of wider representation, right? Also, as you see, the way we consume information, the technology in the past with 1 GB on such a big external drive to AI, everything is evolved. And so that also requires the various roles that we have within this executive committee to be maybe evolved as well. So proposal is to have the president, treasurer, joint secretary, joint secretary, the normal positions and the 5 VP directors, but also have head of technology, head of outreach and communication to steer, and out of the VPs, specific roles to steer various initiatives, various chapters. A lot is happening like that, but also proposing some additional roles. हमने बहुत सारे tenured professional who've been the MMNA treasurer or have served the MMNA in the treasurer capacity directly, indirectly. We've asked them for feedback, and based on their feedback, treasurer के role में भी further refinement का proposal add किया गया है, especially in terms of adding duties with respect to chapters, initiatives, etc. Yeah. So I'll pass on to on the next slide.
Thanks, Aditya. Jai Mahesh, everyone. I am Poonam Bhutada, one of the BOT members. I'll be talking about the proposed changes on Article 6, regions and regional chapters. For chapter term, the current term as per the bylaws, it is 4 years. However, a couple of chapters do follow 2 years term, but mostly follow a 4-year term. It certainly adds quite a bit of work, as Adi said that, he has already discussed people burn out, and there are so much work if a person has to follow a 4-year term. So in addition, we have a lot of new talented members coming on board as well, who can be provided new opportunities. Plus, we would like to keep it aligned with NEC term. Thus, it is proposed to have 3 years term for the chapter committee. For region, we have So for region, there are multiple regions within the chapter. Northeast has New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, etc. It is proposed to have representative from each significant region within the chapter team. So in Midwest, we are already trying to follow this as we have representation from Chicago, Cleveland, etc. For new chapter, currently we have 9 chapters in the USA and 2 chapters in Canada, total of 11 chapters. So now our entire geography of North America is covered by MMNA chapters. Thus, there is no need to add a new chapter unless there are 150 families in chapter, or BOT may decide to take an exception to this count based on the need. For next elected position, the chapter should have at least 4 elected position. हम बोल रहे हैं president के लिए VP, treasurers or secretary. These should be all elected. Other roles can be assigned on selective basis to represent regions, and initiatives based on the expression of interest we receive, we should select that. For last point, CEC, we propose to use the term CEC, Chapter Executive Team, instead of RCEC. So basically, NEC is at the MMNA level and CEC is at the chapter level. So thank you. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Poonam Bhabi. Jai Mahesh everyone and Jai Shri Krishna. Very good evening to all of you. मेरा नाम है स्वप्निल लड्डा. I am part of the current NEC committee. It is my privilege to work with this bylaws team for past 4 months. It has been a wonderful experience, and I will be sharing some of the updates on the initiatives from the bylaws side. As some of you may already know, there are about 10 initiatives in MMNA, and all initiatives form the backbone of MMNA as an organization. And some of you are part of it and doing such a wonderful job. So with that, I will just go through the sections which are talking about the initiative related proposed changes. So one of the aspect is the life cycle of an initiative. When it comes to initiative formation, any new initiative formation will be started by NEC, will be reviewing the plan, and they will be presenting it to BOT when it comes to starting any new initiative. Also, at the start of every NEC term, every single initiative will be reviewed and all objectives would be adjusted according to the given situation at that time. And that may include, including the sunset of the initiative if needed. So having said that, let's go to the next slide, which talks about talk about the structure of the team as such. Now we have currently the structure is not uniform across the team, so the proposed changes are around the structure of every initiative, and we should make the structure uniform across all the initiatives. So what is proposed here is initiative team would be composed of 1 BOT member who would basically take care of vision, governance and oversight of the initiative, and 1 NEC member would focus on the operation and being the liaison between BOT and the actual initiative members. In addition, we will also have 2 to 3 members who would be leads and co-leads, and they would have relative skills and experience to run and execute that initiative. So that's addressing the structure of the team. And now we go to the third part where we talk about the operational part of it. Now in terms of operational part, we are proposing as a bylaws team few changes there. So where we are saying that the same role for a committee member shall not be like reappointed for the same role in the subsequent term. And also the second proposal is the max 2 terms for any lead or co-initiative co-leads for a initiative. So those are the 2 proposed changes on the team structure side. So this is covering all the initiative. Next slide, please.
Namaste, Jai Shri Krishna. My name is Sachin Somani. I am one of the BOT members. Regarding record keeping, as defined in Article 10, there's a slight change in terminology. Currently, it is referred to as bookkeeping. So we have a minor modification to how we will refer to this going forward for all of our records that are kept at the national or chapter level. Regarding bank accounts, the MMNA bank accounts for both national and chapters will be opened and operated under BOT approval by the NEC and chapter elected roles. All additional details for the bank accounts can be found in the financial guidelines, which will be updated and kept up to date. Regarding record availability, Life members can request to review MMNA financials at any point in time by requesting to the NEC president or NEC secretary within at least 1 month advance notice. All records will be kept either digitally or physically for up to 8 years or as prescribed by law. So these records are official documents and will be kept and can be requested to be reviewed at any time going forward, is what we are proposing. Next slide. For the guidelines, which is referred to in Article 11 of the bylaws, the guidelines we use as detailed procedural documents which pertain but are not limited to conducting activities such as elections, organizing conventions, maintaining finances, awarding student loans. The guidelines would also be established for functioning of chapters, induction of onboarding, knowledge transfer for incoming, outgoing officers. So these are areas that we identified over the years that are much needed to continue the activities and standardize on some of these practices going forward between old members and new members coming in. So it's easy for them. They will be living work in progress documents as we move forward. Regarding the grievance committee, we are proposing to establish a standing grievance committee, as opposed to what the current bylaws state, is that a grievance committee can only be established on an ad hoc basis if any member of MMNA raises an issue to the NEC or BOT. But going forward, we are proposing that a standard grievance committee be established aligned to the NEC term, which will be set up so members can raise concerns or grievances at any point of time. Other guidelines and committee roles, other committees and roles will further be elaborated in guidelines, which are currently work in progress and will be available for all Life members to view through the MMNA website. Next slide.
Thank you to our fantastic bylaws team. And before I go further, इतना यूनिक ये एक्सपीरियंस रहा है पिछले 4 महीनों का, फरवरी से लेके अभी तक हम लोगों का, और सबसे मिलके और सबसे सीखने का. And this is the nutshell of what we are calling as the proposed amendments. The documents are much more, but we wanted to share this one. In addition, कुछ और भी clauses हम लोग propose कर रहे हैं. जैसे किसी भी large NGO में there should be something like an indemnity clause for the officers. There should be a whistleblower clause and conflict of interest clause. So we are proposing that also. And then there are some changes where, Diwali is included as a function and in the part. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is the overview of the proposed amendments, which is landmark number 1. So the next question is, okay, what happens now? Now, this is our proposal based on what we discussed to many people, and this has now been presented to the BOT and the NEC. Now, what happens is that today is 4th of June, somewhere around 15th or 20th of June, we will start a procedure which is called as electronic voting. So every life member of MMNA will get a right to vote on these proposed amendments. We are working on the procedure there. So it will be almost a 4 to 5 week procedure, the same that we did in national elections. So sometime from end of June till the end of July, we will have the electronic voting, where each life member will get the chance to vote on that. At some point during the end of that, there will also be a virtual general body meeting, because that is prescribed as per the bylaws. After the completion of the general body meeting, we will of course open the tally of the votes, and depending on what sections or the entire bylaws are amended, we will take it forward. So this is the nutshell of where we started from in January and where this will probably go up to August. The work of the bylaws team was to understand from everybody, सबसे सीखना था और आपके सामने कंपाइल करके उस चीज को प्रेजेंट करना था. अब इसको आगे ले जाना, क्या इससे बेटर चीजें भी हो सकती थी? बिल्कुल हो सकती थी. हमने जब दूसरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को स्टडी किया तो हर जगह पे विद इन 5 to 6 years बायलॉज अमेंड हो जाते हैं एक बार कोई ना कोई कारण से. MMNA, this is now 13th year that the bylaws have not been amended. So a lot of backlog has been there. We have tried to address as much of those needs that are important for now and also for the future, and also created or proposing to create clauses which makes it easier in future also, that if there are needs to be amended, and also giving more powers to BOT and NEC that they can do changes and not get stuck for the bylaws. पिछले 42 मिनट से 40 मिनट से आप लोग सुन रहे हैं बायलॉज, प्रपोज अमेंडमेंट्स एंड ऑल. सो नाउ द क्यूरियोसिटी मस्ट बी कि ये बायलॉज आखिर हैं क्या. सो विदाउट फर्दर अडू, कैन आई प्लीज आस्क मिस्टर सुनील सोनी टू शो अस द बायलॉज. Okay, so this is the bylaws document of MMNA. If you can see, this is the bylaws which were made in 2013. So you can see on the first, in the pink color is the revised of 2013, and in the green color. This is the entire bylaws document, which is there also on the current bylaws are there on the MMNA website. The future version that we are working, this is what is called as the proposed amendments. इस पूरे document में आप जहां भी pink color देखेंगे, that is where we are suggesting that clauses should be changed. And wherever you see the green color is where we are proposing new clauses. Go down further, please. One important thing that we are doing, that the objectives clause of MMNA remains exactly the same. Can you go down further, please? We reviewed it to the objectives clause, please. We reviewed it through at least 10 times, and we found that the founding fathers did an excellent job to cover all the objectives of MMNA even going forward. So there was not much change required. Come down, please. Now you can see as the document goes along that there are a lot of greens and pinks. So wherever we felt that there is a need to change something, add something, is the green. And wherever we wanted to delete something, we made it pink. I am happy to share, and it may find it a little overwhelming also. This is the 31st version of this document. So we had 31 documents in which we kept on making changes, or wherever we learned something, we kept on adding. And now this 19 page document had today become a 23 page document, which is what we call the proposed amendments. Go down, please. Let's go down to the section of initiatives. Page 13, please. So in the current bylaws, and you can go and check it on the website, there are actually some initiatives that are named, and they have given some procedures of those initiatives. Now that the number of initiatives have become 10, what we have created is the standard template which Swapnil Ladda explained to you. The bylaws are going to be named here, and their details are then going to go into the guidelines. So similarly, in all such places where we could see or make some positive changes, we have tried to include that. And of course, everything will come into fruition only when the society actually passes it. But as much as possible detailing that we could do, we have tried to do that. Is it complete in every respect? There is no such document that is complete. But this team and all the people behind it have really tried to look at each word, each clause, making it practical, but also realistic. Even the changes for future bylaws. Can you go down at the bottom, please? So all these, the pink and green. So the greens are the new and the pinks is the one that is going down. Go down to the end, please. So we've also added, as we just shared, about whistleblower clause, indemnity clause, and conflict of interest clauses, so that interests of MMNA and its officers are covered. Close it, please. So this, our dear life members, is what the proposed amendments have been. This is the document. We have lived with this document so much that it has become our Bhagavad Gita. We also have a very nice, affectionate term for it. I will not use it here, but if you catch us offline, you will hear that beautiful word, that how we refer this document to. So now what we would like before we get into the Q&A, of course, thanks everybody. And, we are amazed that on a weekday evening, possibly for a draft topic, our attendee list has been almost 110 right from the beginning. So we thank you for that. But, the picture abhi shuru hui hai. Now is the part where you've seen the document. And before we get, we will get into the Q&A, and we want you to ask as many questions as possible. You can raise your hand. Some people also raise their hand in the attendee list. We will look at the names and we will actually unmute you so you can ask your question by speaking, because we want you to speak. And today, because we have already spoken to a lot of subject matter experts, we want those members of MMNA that we could not connect with, whether they are chapter or any other member, please ask your question about anything and we will try to answer it. You can also write your question in the Q&A box, and one of us will try to answer it. Before we get into the Q&A and this, what I would like to request, today it is Mahesh Navami Day. So can I please request Poonamji Bhutra to have our NEC President Sharadji Mantri join us as a panelist and address the gathering. Poonamji, can you please include Sharadji?
करना पड़ रहा है, एक मिनट. ओके,
शरद जी, आपका स्वागत है. हैप्पी महेश नवमी.
हैप्पी महेश नवमी.
द फ्लोर इज ऑल योर्स. प्लीज गो अहेड.
थैंक यू. जय श्री कृष्ण. आप सबको महेश नवमी की बहुत शुभकामनाएं. आप भगवान महेश का आशीर्वाद आप सब बना रहे. पहले तो आई वुड लाइक टू फर्स्ट थैंक दिस team here which is on your screen, who has worked hard for last few months, right? They have worked, like Jitendra bole ki, they have so many meetings, they have met so many people, they have met organizations outside us, they have reviewed with independent parties, and also many of us have given feedback. So hats off to your effort, Jitendra ji and team. Thank you for all the work being done. Now, coming to this change, right? I am very excited about this change. I am happy that this is being done, because जैसा अभी आपने बोला कि अपना ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बहुत ग्रो हो चुका है. जो 15 साल पहले था और आज है, there's a lot of difference. We have events which are going sold out. पहले अपने को खींच के लाना पड़ता लोगों को. So this is a good time to accommodate those changes. And अभी आपने 45 में देखा कितने changes suggest किए हैं तुमने. So I would all of you to take a look at it, give your feedback, and it is important your feedback, because it is for your benefit, for your organization, to take it as your document and review it. And lastly, I would thank again this team as well as everybody in NEC and BOT for this support. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Sharad ji. And as Sharad ji said, जो bylaws टीम का जो एफर्ट था वो we've done it and we will take it forward. लेकिन अब इस डॉक्यूमेंट को आगे ले जाना, और अगर कोई वैल्यूएबल इनपुट्स हैं, वी आर टोटली अवेलेबल फॉर इट. बट एट द सेम टाइम हमारा ये भी रिक्वेस्ट होगा दैट प्लीज लुक एट अ लार्जर पिक्चर and try to see that, okay, have all the main points that are impacting MMNA, have they been covered, and then take it forward to fruition. Because unless it is passed, this is just a document and this is just effort. So we would request the support of each and every life member to review it, to give us any valued inputs. We have tried to take it and then take it forward. Thank you, Sharadji. Today, we also have, interestingly, as you recall, I mentioned in the beginning that we work with somebody called as a parliamentarian, who are people who guide NGOs on how they should be working. I think we have our parliamentarian Miriam here with us. Poonamji, do you see her? Can you please add her as a panelist?
Yes, one second.
Here I come.
Hi, Miriam. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, so we have around 100 people of MMNA, all life members here, who are participating from all over North America. I will not take much of your time, but in just 2 minutes, because you've been a parliamentarian for 20, 30 years, what has been your experience working with the MMNA bylaws and the bylaws team? All yours.
Oh my goodness. Well, there's a lot of material to go through and there was a lot to consider. So the bylaws team, I think, did a very good job of looking at the wording and getting everything in pretty good shape for you. So I hope you'll be happy with the result. So they've worked hard to explain things and define things.
How did you find working with an Indo-American organization? Because this is probably your first attempt at that.
Well, you'd be amazed at how similar all organizations are. I think how similar they all are. The problems are the same everywhere.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Miriam, for helping us, and thank you for joining us so late in the evening. I really appreciate it.
Very happy to see you all.
Thank you very much.
Job.
Great.
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, now the floor is open. So, anybody please raise your hands if you want to ask any questions, and we'll be happy to, bring you on with the mic open. Okay, so we have, can we please unmute Rashriji Gattani? Poonamji, can you unmute Rashriji Gattani? Rashriji, please unmute yourself.
Yes. जय श्री कृष्ण आप सभी को एंड जय महेश। मेरा एक प्रश्न ये था कि कई जगह से आवाज उठ रही है कि जो नॉन माहेश्वरीज है, चूंकि ये IMRC है तो राजस्थान से भी नाम इसका जुड़ा हुआ है, तो क्या राजस्थानी होने के नाते अदर देन माहेश्वरी कैन जॉइन MMNA?
राशि जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। पहले तो आप अटलांटा से जुड़े, आपको महेश नवमी की, आपको और प्रवीण जी को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
थैंक यू। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। ये आपका बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न है, माहेश्वरियों और नॉन माहेश्वरी जिसमें राजस्थानी इंक्लूडेड है, और ये हमें दूसरे चैप्टर से भी ये प्रश्न आया है और हमको और भी आया। तो इसको हम प्रॉपरली जब हम गाइडलाइंस की बात करेंगे तो हम कुछ ऐसा प्रोसीजर गाइडलाइंस में डिफाइन करेंगे जो सिंप्लीफाइड रहेगा, ताकि चैप्टर टीम, इनिशिएटिव टीम्स को एक क्लियर डायरेक्शन मिल जाए कि MMNA में जो कि माहेश्वरी समाज है उसमें माहेश्वरियों के लिए कैसे, I do not want to use the word reservation, but how we ensure that it remains for the Maheshwari Samaj. So please bear with us for a few months or few weeks. Once we work on the guidelines, we will support it fully.
धन्यवाद।
Thank you. Thank you very much. धन्यवाद. Can we have Arun Bandhania ji from California? Arun ji, please unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Jai Shri Krishna and congratulations on getting to this milestone so far. Great work. तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि सिंस वी आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड कि भाई अपने को आगे चल के क्या अच्छा रहेगा in the world of AI, I also posted this in the Q&A. There is no natural language processing for Marwari. And matlab, as now this is going to be mainstay. And if we go with the traditional pace, it's not enough. So from a bylaw structure point of view, what are the possibilities to expedite some of these kind of opportunities for the community?
अरुण जी, आपका क्वेश्चन बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है। हमारी जो आज आपको न्यूज़लेटर मिला है तो उसमें टेक्नोलॉजी के जो हेड बताए गए वो आदित्य टी जागा है, तो लेट मी पुट आदित्य ऑन द स्पॉट एंड लेट हिम सी व्हाट ही हैज टू आंसर। आदित्य, अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ। आदित्य, अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ।
तो देखिए, हेड ऑफ बोले ना टेक्नोलॉजी में ही अटक गए। आई वाज लुकिंग एट द क्वेश्चंस एंड ट्राइंग टू फिगर आउट बैक। बट अरुण जी जय श्री कृष्णा, ग्रेट क्वेश्चन एक्चुअली। एंड आपने जो क्वेश्चन में ऊपर में वो लिखा ना, वन स्टॉप शॉप कैन द लैंडिंग पेज फॉर एवरीबडी एंड अ कस्टमर जर्नी और अ मेंबर जर्नी, कैन इट स्टार्ट फ्रॉम दैट वेबसाइट? सो बेस्ड ऑन अ लॉट ऑफ फीडबैक जो हमको मिला है, भले ही जो 7 मेंबर यहाँ हैं, चैप्टर्स हैं, Sharad ji as the president, the NEC team itself, everywhere. Definitely technology is not just an enabler. It's actually the backbone of what we do and how we do and what in terms of everything, right? So there's definitely a big focus And there will be a big focus to kind of in terms of the speed at which we operate and the kind of resources and functionality that we make available. So yeah, that is the next big thing. Hopefully, we'll be undertaking very, very soon.
So I think, thank you. If I can just make one quick comment. So I want to make sure कि कोई भी ऐसा initiative जो दूसरे initiative की pace पे नहीं चलेगा, it can be fast forwarded, is allowed within the laws, right? That is my main goal. आज तो LLM है, कल कुछ और होगा, but we should be able to run and race with the time. So the bylaws should not get in the way कि भाई proposal करो फिर 30 दिन के बाद आपको जवाब आएगा फिर उसके बाद. That I don't think is how we should set it up for the future, as my feedback.
Thank you, Arunji, for the feedback, and we will definitely, we are noting all the suggestions also, so we will definitely keep in mind. कुछ questions Q&A में आए हैं, and they seem to be of the nature that are more relevant to other people. तो मैं उनको broadly address कर देता हूँ, so that that may answer a lot. There is a question about elections and what is the procedure and how much time period. It's a good question. तो हमने bylaws में ये already propose किया है कि अगली बार जब भी national और election हो तो अगली टीम के पहले और नई टीम के पास ऑन होने के बीच में एक ट्रांजिशन पीरियड क्रिएट किया जाए. सो द इलेक्शन प्रोसेस स्टार्ट्स अ लिटिल अर्ली. So there is a proper transition period of around 30-45 days so that the new teams, whether in BOT or NEC, can take over properly. That's for the election. A question which is an interesting one, which I was expecting, that about IMRC and all. So IMRC is not directly, the frequency of IMRC is not part of the bylaws, but the BOT and NEC will be working upon it and they will keep you posted. I'm sure जो आप लोगों के परिवारों में रेज हैं, उन्होंने जो रेस का कन्वेंशन आ रहा है सैंटियागो में, आई थिंक लेबर डे वीकेंड पे, तो प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट इफ यू हैव एनी रेस मेंबर दे शुड रजिस्टर ऑन IMRC. द BOT and NEC will keep you posted. Also, there have been questions about Sakhi raise. Yeah, voting of NEC members. Yeah, for NEC, the voting will continue to be national. It will not be at a chapter level because NEC is a national body. So a life member may be participating 3 votes. One is for his or her chapter representatives. One is in the national election for the NEC. And third could also be for the BOT representative from their chapter. So that is the responsibility of the life member. And if the vote passes the amendments, then 2 members from the family, both the spouses, will get that voting right for the life membership. At this point of time, there are questions about annual membership because we are not that digitized properly. So we are keeping it in abeyance. When we are in a stage that we have all the data of all our people, will we revisit annual membership and student membership? Possibly, yes. But as of now, we are just having life membership, or as Chandresh ji said in the beginning, general membership. Poonam ji, Pooja has raised her hand.
Yeah. Yes, Pooja, please go ahead.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I would really like to thank this BOT team for doing this amazing job. Like you said, हमारे bylaws बहुत time से update नहीं हुए थे, and I and my chapter, Pacific Northwest chapter, realized it a lot more because we were new chapter and we wanted to know multiple things. For example, what are the job description or role guidelines for certain leadership positions, and we could not really extract much out of the bylaw. So we were really looking forward for this update. So I have 3 questions for today. Ek to, in our new bylaws, have we included job description or role guidelines for the 4 elected positions at least? And along with that, some recommendation for selected positions would also help. If we are trying to expand MMNA to more regions, I know we were at 9, now we are at 11. If you envision it to expand furthermore for newer chapters, it would be very helpful to know those recommendations. So that was one. I can go through, I have 3. I'll go through all 3 and then you can respond to all 3. The second one is motivation for buying life membership. Because we have a new chapter and we are trying to push people to buy life membership, but people ask question ki, apart from holding leadership position and voting right, what are the other benefits I have as a life member? तो अगर कोई interested nahi hai to hold leadership position, they might never buy life membership. So we should come up with some creative ideas so that we can push people or motivate people to buy life membership. And the third question I had was about including Rajasthanis. Now it's a double-edged sword, right? So if should we be inclusive? I feel we should be, but then how do we draw a line? Because Rajasthan mein there are not everyone follows same culture. Like there could be people from Muslim community who are staying and residing in Rajasthan. So do we include them as well? In my opinion, it should be based on the people who celebrate similar culture. But I'm looking for some recommendation from BOT via bylaws. If you could include something about that as well, ki should we include Rajasthanis or not include, and should it be termed as Rajasthanis or Marwadis and people who follow similar culture instead of Rajasthanis? That way we are not secluding it to a particular state but to entire nation. So these were three questions, and I'll leave it to you.
Thank you, Pooja. आपका पूरा नाम क्या है?
पूजा मंडोरे.
पूजा मंडोरे. आप कब से लाइफ मेंबर हैं?
1 year ago. हम लोग का भी नया चैप्टर बनाया. I'm chapter president for Northwest region.
Fantastic, Pooja. You have, your questions were, I do not know if you watch cricket, but जैसे इस बार IPL में वैभव सूर्यवंशी का परफॉर्मेंस था, आपके प्रश्न मेरे को उसी तरह का विगर और they were showing that much passion. So thank you very much. So all the three questions, let's first go reverse. राजस्थानी वाला जो क्वेश्चन है वो राष्ट्रीय जी गट्टानी के क्वेश्चन से रिलेटेड है, and it is that double-edged sword. We want to be inclusive, but we also want to be careful. So bylaws is not probably the place to address it. What we will do is we will be actually going out and seeking opinion of people as to how to address that. जो second point था, मैं उसके ऊपर maybe I will have Adi again or maybe Swapnil to answer that what is it that we can offer or what is it in our plans for potentially attracting life members. Swapnil.
So we will add the benefits for the life member in general, right? So maybe I'll just relay this question back to Aditya for the life members.
So definitely, it's a great question. Yeah. So why do you pay for to become membership? There are a number of benefits. Some which you can, agar aap socho, in terms of monetary benefits, in terms of tangible and benefits, and some in terms of intangible benefits. Tangible benefits could be in terms of getting specific discounts, be it at the chapter events, be it at the national events. At the time of during the year of IMRC, if you've been there, the discount provided covers way well. I mean, as a family of 4, that literally pays for itself. Yeah. So that's one part of it from a tangible perspective, just as an example. An intangible is, I mean, I could vote in the past election. This is the first time it happened. The vibrancy with which MMNA is growing, you will see more and more. You as a chapter president have come forward. You're taking maybe bigger, better roles. The only way you can get into those roles as per these bylaws is you need to be a life member. So if you're not a life member, then the commitment, it's kind of a testimony of our commitment. So that would maybe, for example, an intangible benefits. I'll pause here, but there are many, and we'll list them in many try to summarize them in the form of guidelines. But yeah, we can connect offline as well to talk a little bit more about that. But it's a great question, keeps coming back in everybody's mind, including myself.
And to your third question, yes, the definition of the roles and responsibilities have been given in some depth in the bylaws, but they will also be covered in the guidelines. I will also, there have been many questions, so this will address that topic about how IMRC should be conducted, how chapters should be inducted, how new chapters. So this time we are going to make a lot of attempt that after potentially these bylaws pass, and while we are doing that, we will create guidelines and standard operating procedures about each of these topics in a simplified manner, and not only create them, but we will also have a procedure how to teach it to our new chapter presidents or new teams. so that they are aware how to operate. We are already talking about, our CFO, the treasurer talking to chapter finance people to guide them how to operate chapter accounts and all. तो ये हमारा पूरा प्रयास है कि हर लेवल की जो हमारी टीम है उनको नॉलेज ट्रांसफर और उनको पूरी बैकिंग इन सिंप्लीफाइड वे अवेलेबल की जाए. Give us, bear with us for few months, and also we would require your participation. So let's say चैप्टर की अगर गाइडलाइन बनानी है कि चैप्टर में इंडक्शन कैसे होना है, तो we would require help of people like Pooja who will tell us कि okay, नया चैप्टर बनता है तो हमको ये प्रॉब्लम आती है. If there is a guidebook that will help any new chapter or new team, तो पूजा के बाद में जो अगली टीम आएगी वो कैसे रन करेगी, उनको वो गाइडबुक मिल जाएगी, so she can pass it on to their new team members. Can we please have Vimalji Sodhani, even if he has not raised his hand, can you please unmute him, please? Vimalji was very busy, but as most of us would know here, Vimalji is one of the founding fathers of MMNA, been involved since 1980s, and he had some other meeting. I just requested कि please come to bless us. So Vimalji is here. Vimalji, Sadar Pranam, thank you for joining.
Thank you very much, Jitendraji. Yeah, I just finished my meeting and I said, I could not say no to you. Let's put it this way. So I decided to join. I lately heard it. Some of the questions raised are really meaningful. But imagine when we started 55 years back. And when you started with 5 members of Marwadi Maheshwaris together in a small house. And we're looking around even to find an Indian around. So forget about the Maheshwaris. But anyway, some of our very leading members, we lost them, very dear to us. And I do appreciate it, you give a lot of recognition. I heard some of the points here brought here, and I want to bring it like IMRC type question, Rajasthan, people should be involved now. I think we'll, off the line, we'll discuss. There are pro and cons, so think very seriously about it. And look, there are growing pains. I cannot even imagine, honestly. We have grown from 5, 10, 15 families in 1972, 73 to almost in thousands. And I commend all the youth coming in, bringing this well up. You're much more well organized. We were not. We are making it like a family get together type thing, but now it's growing up. So we have to be very careful how we chartered our all association. When we grow, and remember, and some of the person I didn't hear fully, they talked about AI and all that. Nothing wrong with that, but we all have to be very conscious about what kind of things we take up, whether it is worth or not, should be really investigated, and then proceed. And I'm really proud of you. And Jitendra, you've been taken as a BOT chair now, and with all the NEC, I don't know many of them. I know Poonamji, I know her, I know Aditya. Some of them I never met them, but there should be a point that what we should be doing, if you can involve all the senior members, to have a Zoom call with all the NEC and BOT members. So we get to know. I mean, honestly, this is my shortcoming that I don't know all of them. I'm still in contact with all the old members like Dr. Bhangadia ji, Karantri ji, Hanuman Lahoti ji, some of them, not much. And we are, honestly, we have slowed down as per my age. But I'm willing to support anything you want. Especially, I'm very much for the work in Seva. Keep that one. How do we bring up, our whole emphasis, we are involved in almost more than 15 projects in Bharat and about 10 projects in America. Because as you know, I'm from Sangha and I came from BHP. With BHP also 55 years, MMNA also 55 years. And basically what we have to do to get mingle around and develop some new ideas. But at the same time, we cannot flow just because what we want to see and proceed further without thinking. There is a lot of thought process involved, and I'm sure you guys will do a great job. You know, very good team. Anytime you need, I'm always available to talk to you. Some of the issues you can bring it up, and whatever we experienced from last so many years, we'll share with you. I mean, really. But I'm coming back to the point here. We have to encourage some of the talented people in our community. You know, that's our forte. Developing means, you know what, I mean, all the society, if you hear, when I see a lot of news and some clippings on YouTube, extraordinarily intelligent, and especially in a Marwadi group to find is not a difficult job. Encourage those youth to develop something. It's not a handout, please. We are not going to give the money to them to develop themselves. They have to find their own means of thing. Encourage them, whatever help we can give them, to guide to them. But these issues are many more. I won't take, because I know your time is very precious. So these are some of my thoughts to go small few things. And by the way, I was surprised. I saw your our new president's letter. Unbelievable, so many initiatives you have taken. I don't know where we are. That's great. But let's see if we put proper intention to that. And every time, by the way, I'm attending all the conferences so far, and the bar is raised. And I think Aditya and Tarun were struggling last time. What do we do? So what my point is here, it's not a question of raising bar. Are going to maintain the quality and the way we present it. It is not the number, please. I'm from the old books, you know, so maintain a quality. Such a standard, if somebody walks out, because you know what is happening, I'm just sharing with you. We have 5,000 members joining. Hardly there is any time to mingle around and see them. We never get to see them. There's no one-to-one meeting of the people. So if the numbers are less, maybe you can do, maybe, I don't know. If you do zonal-wise conventions, you know, so less people attend and get more and more cohesiveness. And हमारा तो परिवार है भाई, अभी तभी हमारा कॉन्सेप्ट तो ये था कि ये हमारा एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली है, हमारा यहाँ तो कोई है ही नहीं, तो हमारा जो ये परिवार है ये हमारा एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली है. ये भावना से हमने शुरू किया था. सब घर से भोजन बना के ले जाते हैं, किसी ने बाहर से, किसी ने, you know, Shanta ji, Mrs. Daga, and few of our family, other ladies, trust me, they prepared food of 150 to 175 people in Holi and Diwali time. That was the spirit. And now whatever we do here, everything, naturally, the things are there. We order, nothing wrong with that. But I'm coming to the point, create, I believe, get to know each other more, have a quality program. Raising bar will not help too much. You know, I'm sure.
थैंक यू विमल जी. मैं सॉरी, आप बुजुर्ग हैं, मैं वो नहीं करना चाहता, बट कुछ लोगों के हाथ उठे हुए हैं.
नहीं. Yeah, I know. I really appreciate it.
So nice of you कि आपने, और मैं आपको यहीं पे एक चीज कहना चाहता हूं जिससे आपको जान के शायद खुशी होगी. ये जो एंड यू नो ये जो रीजनल कन्वेंशन की और रीजनल की बात की है, that idea is already floating around, and hopefully in the next 1-2 years you will see more of that. And what I want to point to everybody sitting here is what an interesting family MMNA is. So on one side we have Vimalji Sodhani, who was in MMNA before MMNA was even born. So 1970s he was there. And on the other side, we have Pooja, who is the chapter president of Pacific Northwest, who has just been in MMNA for 1 year. And this is the organization that bridges a 55-year-old founder to the person who is going to lead it forward in the years to come. And our entire intent of the bylaws team also is कि जैसे इन लोगों ने 55 साल की संस्था बनाई, हम वो ऐसा डॉक्यूमेंट बनाएं या ऐसी चीजें या ऐसा करें कि 10 साल बाद में जो पीछे पीढ़ी मुड़ के देखे तो उनको लगे कि जिन्होंने काम किया उन्होंने अच्छा काम किया. So thank you, Vimal ji. Please, there were some questions that were there. I think Lata ji Maheshwari addressed. If she is there, can you please have her? And, thank you. And for people who don't know, Vimalji has been a part of Northeast and guiding everything. Lataji, please go ahead.
Yeah, this is Padam using.
Oh, Padamji, please.
Lata's computer.
Yeah,
So,
now you will have to use your spouse's membership to vote also. So
I
that's the
guess so.
example.
So I think my question, I did see a feedback from in the thing, but my question was on the 90-day cooling off period. That in my experience, based on the elections, there is an uptick in becoming life member either before election or before IMRC. And 90-day cooling off period seems too long to be able to vote and to be able to get to IMRC. So you may want to look at that cooling off period and what does that mean. So that was my question or the comment.
Thank you, Padamji. And, you mentioned this earlier to us also. We are relooking at it. So this is just a proposed amendment. We will relook at it and, also take other opinion and, what can be done in the rightful manner. And also about the conventions, yes, in the past, because we were discounting and people wanted to join for conventions. But as Aditya also answered to Pooja's question, we want to have better ways of being able to attract life membership than just discounts. As we all work together, the NEC, BOT and the chapters and initiatives, you will see, I can guarantee you on behalf of all of us, including the NEC and Sharadji, that in the next year, you will see a better and a more stronger MMNA, which will not be just needing life members by offering discounts, but we will have much more value added, which will be there. So just be with us as you have been, and you will see more of that. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, we had some interesting question was here. Yeah, so there was this good question about kids of life members as rays. So yes, if they are to become leaders of rays, they do not have to take individual membership unless they are below 30 and unmarried. But if they want to take any other roles like NEC membership, NEC leadership and all, then they need to be individual members. For rays and junior rays, people can, a child is the wrong word to use, but our children can be leaders of rays and junior rays without being individual life members up to the age of 30. Okay. Any other questions that we may have? Guys, do you see any other questions? So, okay, somebody has raised a hand, please. Poonamji. Raj. Go ahead, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. Yeah, you are. Go ahead. Any idea? Who is Raj?
Hello.
Can you hear us, please? Okay, maybe we go to somebody else, please. We have any other questions that are pending? Any questions, gentlemen? Our team that you see in the Q&A box that needs to be answered. Adi, Swapnil.
स्टूडेंट लोन्स के बारे में क्वेश्चन था एक कि स्टूडेंट लोन्स को लाइफ मेंबर के लिए ही हैं क्या?
The student loans, no, we have not connected it to life membership, and it was not connected to life membership in the past also. It was basically for any Maheshwari who is needing. Both earlier it used to be for people who would come from abroad, and now we are even open to people from within the country. Once they fill the form and once they fill the criteria, they can, take the student loan.
That was definitely one, but yeah. No, other than that, I think we covered pretty much all.
Any other questions? Anybody else that
There is one about the raise age.
एकता बांगुर का है.
हाँ, क्या question है? पूछिए.
Record keeping, can we make annual records publicly available to all life members instead of requesting from FS?
Yeah, so we are actually working on it. Is that Ekta Bangar's question?
Yes.
Yes. So good question, Ekta. You are a CPA from, so Ekta is our chapter president of Vancouver, and she's also a CPA. So yes, that's a good question, and we are working on it. At this point of time in the bylaws, it says that it is by request, But as we progress and we have all the digitization that we talked about, that Chandresh talked about and Adi talked about, we will reach a stage that our life members will be able to see our data without asking. So yes, definitely that is something on the cards. It's not there today, but we will definitely do that.
Her second question is chapter term. Reducing terms from 4 to 3 years might be tough considering a new team can take longer time to gel. Any thoughts around it?
So I think there has been a lot of thought that has gone towards it, because this has come from, so there are already chapters within MMNA who talk even about 3, they are actually doing a 2-year term. So we realize that 3-year, and the way Adi described, there is so much of activity happening that if the chapter is fully active in 3 years, you really burn out and you have the ability to get a new team. So I think a lot of thought has actually gone into that topic of the 3-year term.
Her last question here is chapter representation. Does the 150 member threshold BOT NEC representation inadvertently exclude smaller chapters?
So all the chapters that are part of the chapter structure are already there. So if you look at as far as the NEC representation is concerned, it is going to be open election, and any chapter can participate in the election, any members. And now, as Adi mentioned, today we have 11 chapters and now we will have 12 seats. So there is a possibility, even by mathematics, that one person from each chapter can come, and the guidelines are already written and will be written in a manner that most chapters can have representatives there who are desirous and capable. If you compare with the last NEC elections, the challenge was the number of seats was 9 and the number of chapters was 11. So there was no way that the election committee could create a structure for everybody. As far as the board of trustees is concerned, it is a much more higher body in terms of strategic initiatives. So we do want people to be coming to BOT who have had significant experience of working within MMNA, because the decisions that are being discussed there are of a longer nature. However, if there is a chapter which does not have a direct board representative, the board will ensure that all their voices heard in the BOT. So not having a direct representative will not be devoid for them to not have their voice heard in the BOT. Okay. Any other? Yes.
Surbhi Rathi is there.
Yeah, please ask her.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. आज तो सभी महिलाओं के नाम से पुरुष आ रहे हैं.
जय महेश, एक क्वेश्चन अभी आपने जस्ट बोला तो जस्ट क्यूरियस, आपने बोला 11 सीट्स हैं, 12 पोजीशंस हैं, तो क्या लॉजिक था इसका जो आप बता रहे हैं अभी? 11 chapters and 12 positions in any seat.
So basically we looked at multiple, and again there is 80% logic, and then there's 20% was the way we could structure it, is that we wanted an ability that every chapter has the chance of having a representative. Also created one extra seat because there may be a place where one chapter is also sending a president or a treasurer, then that has the ability. But at the same time, not creating a structure which is that, okay, one chapter per seat kind of thing, because that's not what the founding fathers wanted. The founding fathers wanted the NEC to be representative of MMNA at large, as opposed to chapters, with strong representation from the chapters. So that was the reason. And we also wanted to keep a body which is functionally possible. You make it a 17 or 16 people NEC, then you have a body which is actually not being able to achieve something. So 12 is the number that we thought that will give equal representation. And as Adi mentioned, we want to have people who are coming and handling technology, marketing, outreach, which have become so important for MMNA.
Makes sense. Thank you. And really great job, the team. Thanks a lot. I can understand how much effort it takes to do this.
So what we want from everybody, and you, and we are hearing a lot of comments on this side also. So we thank them. But what we want is the participation, support. And if there are some minor points that are either missed out, or look at the larger picture. So if you fundamentally see, और ये मेरी सबसे गुहार है कि अगर आपको फंडामेंटल लेवल पे लगता है कि ये डॉक्यूमेंट या जो एफर्ट किया गया है ये सही डायरेक्शन में है, कोई अगर माइनर पॉइंट्स हैं तो उसको इग्नोर करिएगा, हम उनको गाइडलाइंस के थ्रू एड्रेस करने की कोशिश करेंगे. बिकॉज अब सबसे जरूरी है कि अपन सारा समाज मिलके इस डॉक्यूमेंट को एक्सेप्ट करें, as long as you fundamentally agree with it, and we take it to fruition and start working on it. बिकॉज वी कैन कीप ऑन डिबेटिंग दैट ये लाइन ऐसी होनी चाहिए, ये लाइन ऐसी होनी चाहिए. जैसा मैंने आपको कहा, मेरे पास पूरे 31 वर्जन है. आज कल रात को, एंड आई डोंट हैव अ प्रॉब्लम इन शेयरिंग, on one particular word last night we had a 45-minute conversation between the 7 of us on one word. We all discussed till 11:30 in the night कि कल वो word बोला जाएगा या नहीं बोला जाएगा. That is the extent of grueling that we have done for this document. And I'm really sincere. आज भगवान महेश का दिन है. सिर्फ एक word था जिसके ऊपर हम लोगों के बीच में 45 मिनट तक डिस्कशन चलता रहा कि ये वर्ड इंक्लूड होना चाहिए या नहीं होना चाहिए. हम लोगों ने आपके बिहाफ पे इसमें पूरे तन मन धन से एफर्ट किया है. तो अगर कोई छोटी चीज हो तो उसको इग्नोर करिएगा, कोई बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज हो तो जरूर हमारी नजर में लाइए. हम अगर उसको इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं तो जरूर इंक्लूड करेंगे. और गाइडलाइंस इसीलिए बना रहे हैं, बाकी चीजें इसीलिए बना रहे हैं कि और जो छोटी चीजें वहीं से एड्रेस हो सके. दैट इज द होल आइडिया. नाउ बिफोर वी आई डोंट सी एनी नेम्स. एनी कोई क्वेश्चंस है पूनम जी?
एक क्वेश्चन है, रेस एज लिमिट इज बियॉन्ड 30. इट विल बी गुड टू अलाइन दीज एजेस.
हाँ, क्या क्वेश्चन है, वापस बोलिए.
रेज एज लिमिट.
हाँ, सो अभी क्या है, वो हमको ये क्वेश्चन आया था एंड वी अगेन डिबेटेड बिटवीन द एज फ्रॉम 21 to 26 to 30 to 35 एंड वी हैड लॉजिक फॉर ईच ऑफ देम. हमने क्या डिफाइन किया कि अभी एज 30 है, बट बीओटी और एनईसी के पास में पावर है कि जब कभी फ्यूचर में उसको रिव्यू करना हो तो रिव्यू कर सकते हैं. सो इट इज नॉट फ्रोजन इन स्टोन. डिपेंडिंग ऑन सिचुएशन दे कैन रिव्यू इट.
जितिन भैया, बस लास्ट ये राजेश्री गट्टानी का हैंड रेज है.
ओके, लेट्स आस्क हर. राशि जी बोलिए.
यू कैन अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ. या
जय श्री कृष्णा. प्रवीण गट्टानी, राशि गट्टानी के बिहाफ पर.
This is the third person who is using the spouse email ID to vote.
हाँ, 2 वोट मिलेंगे ना घर में, तो थोड़ा जोश आना चाहिए.
बोलिए प्रवीण जी.
तो आप सभी का धन्यवाद, सब कर्मठ कार्यकर्ताओं का. इतनी मेहनत से, इतने लगन से इस लेवल पे आप लोगों ने इस काम को लेके आए. तो अभी मेरे दिमाग में, अभी बात करते, मतलब अपने मीटिंग के दौरान ही दिमाग में आया कि क्या अपनी लाइफ मेंबरशिप रिफंडेबल है?
हाँ, नहीं, अपनी लाइफ मेंबरशिप रिफंडेबल नहीं है.
ठीक.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, it is there. It is not refundable. Yeah, so yeah, we do not have that.
Somebody is moving out for good.
हाँ, नहीं, वो because at this point the structure is not because when कितने समय पे मूव आउट होंगे क्या. और देखिए प्रवीण जी, आज की जो $300 की लाइफ मेंबरशिप है, इट्स लाइक गोइंग टू अ 4 people रेस्टोरेंट एंड अगले मॉर्निंग बोलिए कि यार खाना ठीक नहीं था, रिफंड कर दीजिए. All of us are parts of other organizations. $300 what we are charging for the entire life,
right,
for the entire family is not even peanuts. Correct. It's much lower than that. And I think you also agree there.
Yes, absolutely.
So
that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So before we conclude, I would like each of the panelists, starting from Poonam ji, to please share, बोलिए. केशव लाल जी कुछ कहना चाहते हैं. हाँ, केशव लाल जी से पूछ लीजिए. Yeah, please. या उन्होंने.
नमस्कार जी.
हाँ, केशवलाल जी बोलिए.
नहीं, congratulations, lot of hard work. I sincerely appreciate. It's a lot of work you guys have done. Is amazing work. And second thing is why I become a life member. मेरा thought ये है कि it is you have opportunity to give to the community. So this is everybody cannot get that opportunity. That is my thought.
बहुत ही बढ़िया आपने विचार दिया केशवलाल जी, और हमने उस तरह से सोचा ही नहीं. हम तो सिर्फ बेनिफिट्स ही सोच रहे थे कि उसको ये डिस्काउंट मिलेगा, ये डिस्काउंट मिलेगा. लेकिन ये नजरिया जो कि एक्चुअली सेवा का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, कम्युनिटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, और अगर हमको कम्युनिटी इन एवरी फॉर्म, माहेश्वरी कम्युनिटी, कम्युनिटी ऑफ अमेरिका, कम्युनिटी ऑफ इंडिया को सेवा करने का मौका अगर लाइफ मेंबर के रूप में मिल रहा है, तो रियली this is a really new eye-opening approach. Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely. I echo Keshav ji. We need to come out of the mindset of what benefit I am gonna. Instead, we should think of like what I'm going to give to the society or my community.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Keshav Lal ji. And again, शायद यही भावना थी. Again, it has been a pride honor for me to get a chance to work with this fantastic team of 6 people. जनवरी से हम जो काम कर रहे हैं, हमारा जैसे दैट इज माय लास्ट स्टेटमेंट. हम जब पहली बार मिले थे तो मैंने यही कहा था अपनी टीम के साथ में कि हम भगवान महेश के अभिषेक कर रहे हैं, हम समुद्र मंथन की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, हलाल भी निकलेगा, अमृत भी निकलेगा, और जो भी निकलेगा वो शिव भगवान का प्रसाद है और हमको उनकी सेवा करनी है। तो ये पूरी टीम ने सिर्फ और उसी भावना से काम किया, और इसीलिए जो भी रास्ते में परेशानियां आई वो हमको भगवान का प्रसाद लगी। I will now request all of the team members to please say concluding remarks.
Yep.
And again, thank you for all the people. We still have 66 people. It's 10:30 on a weekday evening. Really amazing. Poonam ji, please go ahead.
No, thank you everyone for listening to us and giving us feedback what we can do. It is what Jitin bhaiya said in the beginning. It's for you. It's for by the MMNA, for the MMNA. So we are hoping all the good luck to all of us that we can change this. So really thank you.
Sachin ji.
I echo Poonamji's comments. Thank you everyone for taking your precious time on the East Coast. I know it's very late. On the West Coast also, it's dinner time for many families and members. So thank you for taking the precious time to attend and ask questions and make comments. Hopefully our answers and responses have been able to adequately answer your questions. If not, we will continue to take questions if you send it via email or contacting any one of us personally or directly. So thank you for the participation. And if you can pass on some of this message to other life members within your chapters, that will be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I would like to convey my thanks to subject matter experts. They have spent a lot of time. We work with them and their input for during the entire course of our working. So thank you, subject matter experts, as well as other life members, basically, who we reached out and then we got the guidance from them. Thank you.
आदि
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सगलाने। जरूर सु पढ़ो डॉक्यूमेंट ने, पूरी एंथु एनर्जी 30 मिनट से ज्यादा कौन लगे। And once you spend that 30 minutes, please spread it, make it contagious, and make sure all of you make your voice counted. वोट जरूर करो। जय महेश।
Before I call चंद्रेश जी, इस वीकेंड पे कई चैप्टर्स में पिकनिक है, हमारे नॉर्थ ईस्ट में है, मुझे शायद पता है मिडवेस्ट में भी हो रही है। तो वहां पे भी जो भी चैप्टर रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स हैं या बाकी लोग जो भी एनईसी, बीओटी और बाकी लोग जो अटेंड कर रहे हैं, प्लीज स्प्रेड करिएगा वर्ड। अगर लोगों ने नहीं अटेंड किया उनको बताइएगा। एंड द वोटिंग प्रोसेस, एज आई सेड, विल प्रोबब्ली जस्ट स्टार्ट इन 2-3 वीक्स। चंद्रेश जी।
जितेंद्र जी, पहले तो मैं आपको धन्यवाद दूंगा कि आपने एक बहुत बढ़िया टीम इकट्ठी करी, जिन्होंने, मैं ये बोल सकता हूँ कि तन मन पूरा लगा के रातों को बैठ के सवेरे सवेरे आपके 6 बजे मैसेज सुप्रभातम आते रहे और हमने उनको आंसर करा। तो काम करने में बहुत मजा आया है और आएगा भी। अभी बहुत काम करना है। हम मेरे ख्याल से आधे रास्ते भी अभी तक नहीं पहुंचे हैं। मजा आया। पर मुझे सबसे ज्यादा आज खुशी ये है कि 100 से ज्यादा लोगों ने ये अटेंड किया और 100 से ज्यादा तो साइन इन थे। और जैसे कई जने, 2 जने मिलके मियाँ बीवी साइन इन करते हैं और एक दूसरे के बिहाफ पे बोलते हैं, तो मैं सोचता हूँ करीब 150 लोगों ने धैर्य से सारी चीजें सुनी और अच्छे सवालात भी किए। उससे बढ़िया रिस्पांस मैं एक्सपेक्ट करता ही नहीं था। और मुझे इससे साफ जाहिर होता है कि अपनी महेश्वरी समाज की जो टीम बना रखी है हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे, वो बहुत ही क्लोजनेट है और वो एक दूसरे के बारे में बहुत सोचती है और संबंध बनाए रखना चाहती है। मेरी सबसे यही गुजारिश रहेगी कि यही एंथुजियाज्म अपना आगे ले जाएं और जब वोटिंग का समय आए तो खुद तो वोट करें ही, जो लोग नहीं अटेंड कर पाए उनको भी समझाएं कि भाई कितना महत्वपूर्ण होता है एक वोट देना और किसी चीज को हाँ या ना। जरूरी नहीं है कि आप सब चीजें हाँ में ही बोलें, लेकिन ना भी बोलना है तो उसे अपना बताइए लोगों को कि ना किस लिए बोल रहे हैं और क्यों। तो जरूर से पार्टिसिपेट करें और आपको खुद को अच्छा लगेगा कि हाँ भाई आपने कुछ चेंज करने के लिए अपना भी योगदान दिया है। यही बोल सकता हूँ मैं।
थैंक यू चंद्रेश जी। स्वप्निल।
जय श्री कृष्णा। पहले तो मैं जितेंद्र जी आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगा। बीइंग द लीडर ऑफ दिस टीम, दिस टास्क वाज लाइक साउंडेड लाइक mountain high to climb, but it's all due like because of your leadership and the team here. I think we've come this far. But आज जैसे अभी पिक्चर बाकी है तो अभी वोटिंग बाकी है, तो अब मेरी सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि प्लीज वोट and we have spent countless hours on this one. And I also want to thank same time जैसे subject matter expert, chapter presidents, any former NEC member, current NEC members, and all our subject matter expert who have given us important feedback. Hopefully हम लोग सब incorporate कर सके उनका feedback. अगर ना हो तो still reach out to us and we'll try to answer the question. So बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
So thank you once again, everybody. If there is any final question anybody has, you can still raise your hand in the last 1 minute. Otherwise, आपके जो हमको विचार मिल रहे हैं राइट साइड में, हम सारे तो अभी देख नहीं पाए. पूनम जी जब बाद में शेयर करेगी चैट तो हम देखेंगे. बट रियली थैंक यू. और अगेन मैं उसको बोलने के लिए नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. हमारा पूरे प्रोसेस में यही था कि हमको समाज ने, जो केशव लाल जी ने बोला लाइफ मेंबर की तरह, तो हमको समाज ने ये अपॉर्चुनिटी दी कि समाज का एक जरूरी काम था, हम उसे कर सकें. हम उसे यहाँ तक लेके आए और अब सब लोगों के सहयोग से वो आगे जा सकता है. इट वॉज एक्चुअली अ ब्लेसिंग एंड एन अपॉर्चुनिटी. और जैसा स्वप्निल जी ने बोला एवरेस्ट वाली बात, तो अब हम लोगों में से अधिकांश कुछ तो हैं बहुत तंदुरुस्त, आदि और स्वप्निल जी जैसे, बट मैं तो शायद एबीसी एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप अभी शायद नहीं चढ़ पाऊंगा. तो शायद यही मेरा एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप था कि मैंने कहा चलो एमएमएनए के लिए एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप इस तरह का चढ़ते. तो अभी कुछ पड़ाव बाकी हैं, बट अभी तक की जर्नी बहुत अच्छी रही. तो इट हैज बीन ग्रेट. सो आई थिंक वी कैन, if all agree, then I think we can close this session. सभी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. पुनः महेश नवमी की बहुत शुभकामनाएं. भगवान महेश हम पे कृपा बना के रखे. और जैसे आज उन्होंने इतने शुभ दिन में हमें ये अवसर दिया आप लोगों के साथ अपने थॉट शेयर करने का, जैसा सचिन जी ने बोला, प्लीज दूसरों को भी बताइए जो हुआ है. यहाँ पे अगर 110 लोग थे और कई तो परिवार थे, इतनी खुशी हुई मुझे देख के कि 3 महिलाओं के आईडी के ऊपर 3 पुरुषों ने बात की. तो हमारा जो सार्थक था कि स्पाउस का वोटिंग आईडी, वो आज से ही प्रूव हो गया. दैट वाज रियली अमेजिंग. पूजा जी के जो क्वेश्चंस थे, दैट शोड ग्रेट एंथुसियाज्म. विमल जी ने जो हमें आशीर्वाद दिया. कोई भी व्यक्ति, आप किसी भी चीज को इमेजिन करिए कि 55 साल पहले 5 लोगों ने, उनकी वाइफ ने 150 लोगों का खाना बनाती थी, और आज वो 15,000 लोगों का जब परिवार देखते होंगे तो उनको मन में कितनी संतुष्टि मिलती होगी. मुझे बुरा लगा कि बुजुर्ग थे, मैंने बीच में इंटरप्ट किया क्योंकि मुझे लगा कि कुछ और लोग भी बोलना चाहते हैं. बट दैट्स द काइंड ऑफ ऑनर एंड प्लेजर दैट दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, जो मैंने शुरू में कहा, ऐसे एनजीओ दूसरे कहीं नहीं मिलते जहां इतनी कम पॉलिटिक्स है और सब लोग काम करना चाहते हैं और सब लोग एक दूसरे को इतना मान देते हैं, इतना साथ में मिलके काम करते हैं. सो दैट्स द होल आइडिया. थैंक यू एवरीबॉडी. पुनः बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सभी को. शुभ रात्रि, मजे में रहिएगा और अगले हमारे मैसेज का इंतजार करिएगा. bylaws@mmna.org पे जो भी मैसेज हो कर सकते हैं. The panelists can please stay on and the attendees can please now exit.
वोट देना मत भूलिएगा.
हाँ, वोट देना मत भूलिएगा.
जय श्री कृष्णा.
जय श्री कृष्णा. जय महेश. राम राम सभी को. स्वस्थ रहिएगा, मस्त रहिएगा और बायलॉस टीम को लिए वोट डालिएगा.